morning, everyone. This is take two. Take one just kind of stopped for some reason. I don't know why. Very strange. But look, it is what it is. We'll go. We'll not let that disrupt what we're doing. So I suppose today is kind of a fun one because we've had so many kids' questions coming in. So it seems like it's something that could be a bit of fun, a bit nerve-wracking for me as well because who knows how it's going to go. I was going to go with hot chocolate, but I thought, no, I'll stick with my coffee today. Given that as a kids special. So I suppose we have a few questions from the kids. Let's see how we can answer them. It's a kind of a nice fresh day in Drogheda here. So I'm looking forward to a good day. I think it's due to be quite sunny all day, so that should be quite kind of nice. Right, let's crack straight into it. Why can't I have sweets for school? It's a very good question, and it's one that I asked myself many, many times when I was a child, and it's something I think every parent should actually start to take some heed with. There's nothing wrong with sweets, there's nothing wrong with sugar. It's not going to do any harm to your children's teeth, and why are you going to worry about it anyway? Because if they're small enough, their teeth are going to fall out anyway, so it's not something you have to worry about them getting cavities or holes. Yeah, there might be a bit of pain and there might be some long-term damage, and they might get overweight, which is ultimately going to cause a lot of hassle for you and for the economy and the country. But hey, it's only sweets for lunch, and let's go with the old adage of whenever your parents would catch you smoking and they'd sit you down and make you smoke a pack of 20 one after the other. Let's give our kids loads and loads of sweets every day for lunch, for school, until they get sick of it, and then they'll just not want them anymore. So I'm all for it. Kids, you can definitely have sweets for school every single day. Oh, hold on. What if the school doesn't allow it? That's not your parents' fault, really. Actually, it's the school's fault. So probably don't take the sweets to school to start with. So parents, you're off the hook. You didn't do anything wrong. You were going to give your kids all the sweets to let them go and eat. Maybe there needs to be a campaign against the schools to, allow sweets in every single day and not worry about the health of the future for our kids. So let's start a campaign against schools and allow kids to have sweets every single day. It's not the parents' fault. It's the schools. Let's blame the schools. Okay. Good morning, Karina. Nice to see you. Okay. Why won't my parents let me get another pet? We only have 2 dogs and 2 cats, but I love a micro pig. What is it about micro pigs at the moment? Everyone's talking about getting micro pigs. They're so cute, they're so lovely. Now, don't get me wrong, pigs are as good as any animal out there, I suppose. But okay, let's get down to brass tacks. You have 2 dogs, you have 2 cats. I'm going to assume that the house can be pretty full. Now, you may have tons of space, and that's not a bad thing. But, do you look after the dogs? Do you feed the dogs? Do you take the dogs for walks? Do you feed the cats? Do you look after taking them to the vets? Do you look after buying the food? I would hazard a guess that in most houses, the kids are the ones who aren't actually looking after the dogs and the cats, which means you want another pet. You want a little micro pig. I don't know what's involved in looking after a micro pig. I'm assuming that they probably need a bit of looking after anyway. So is this another pet that you want that your parents are going to have to look after? And probably most likely the person who's going to look after it. Now, I know we've all heard that. I promise I will look after the dog. I will look after the cat. I will look after the guinea pigs. I will do it all. I will clean out the rabbit hutch every single day if you get me the pet. And all those parents out there go, do you promise now? Because I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it until they do it. Because the rabbits are stinking. The guinea pigs are stinking. And there's no kids to be seen. It's amazing how enthusiastic kids can be about doing homework when there's pets that have to be looked after, have to be walked, have to be cleaned. So The reason you're not allowed to get a micro pig is because there's a good chance you're probably not looking after the two dogs. You're probably not looking after the two cats. You're not the one that's taking care of them. You're not the one that's feeding them and cleaning them. So you're not allowed, and there's a good reason for it. Now, maybe when the cats and the dogs maybe just leave this world, maybe then you can go back to your folks and say, can I get a micro pig? Or maybe you can do a bit of research into how much work it is, obviously depending on what age you are. But let's go and have a look and see what's actually involved in looking after a micro pig. Do they need chipping? Do they need, I don't know, any of that stuff? So definitely, you are not allowed to get one. I'm with your parents. I'm 100% on board. Now, if you want to take sweets to school, that's something different. Go ahead and do that. Okay, I'm 13 years old, and I'm wondering why my parents are always on at me to clean up, to put away my dishes. If they didn't want to have to take care of me, they shouldn't have had me. That phrase has been around for years, for absolute years. If you didn't want me, if you didn't want to look after me, you shouldn't have had me. Here's a little secret. Your parents didn't know how much of a little shit that you were going to be when they were having you. So, if you're 13 years of age and your parents are getting on at you for not picking up your clothes, not putting away your dishes, guess what? You're not doing it. Which means there's a good chance that you're getting lazy about things. Or maybe you've always been lazy about things. At some point, when you move out on your own, you're going to have to look after things for yourself. You're going to have to tidy up after yourself. You're going to have to wash your dishes because you'll run out of dishes. And it's amazing the amount of teenagers I've spoken to going, I'll just get paper plates. I'll put them in the bin so I don't have to worry about it. I 100% guarantee you will not be doing that. You will not be getting paper plates. You will be getting proper plates, proper cutlery that you have to look after. So it's about time that you got your finger out of your ass and started to pull your weight around the house. You can expect your parents to do everything for you, but here's a call out to all the parents out there. If you have a 13-year-old or a child in around that age, stop doing stuff for them. I want every single parent out there to think of at least one thing, just one thing that you do for your children that they could do for themselves. It's simple homework, it's simply done, but I want each of you to do that. I want each of you to think about what is it that you do for your kids that they could do for themselves and put it into practice. Now, you may say, I just want them to clean their bedroom. And then you walk into the bedroom and there's no clothes on the floor, but the mattress is like that. Or there's 3 chairs pushed up against the cupboard doors. And you're going, this is not clean. And your child's going, there's no clothes on the ground. Of course it's clean. So you may need to take that little bundle of joy who might be 6'4" and walk them around and show them what clean looks like from your perspective. But this is the challenge for every parent out there. Not even a challenge. You're doing your kids a favour. You're giving them a life skill so they can actually learn how to cook, clean, wash, iron, whatever it is for themselves. And they might just start to appreciate the amount of work that you actually do around the house a bit more. So, okay, each of you, think of one thing that you could do that you do for your kids that they could do for themselves. Okay, and stick with it for 2 or 3 weeks, because what happens then is it becomes a habit, and when it becomes a habit, then there's less pressure on you to have to do it. Now, they might need a little reminder every so often, but if you can start to do that at 12, 13, 14, 10, 9, 8, whatever, then it just becomes the norm. So for those parents out there who, sometimes I'll talk about kids not making the bed and it's driving the parents nuts. And there's other parents out there going, yeah, but my kids always make the bed. They always have done. That's because you put something in place. showed them how to do it, and it just became the norm. So you don't even have to think about it anymore. This is the exact same. As they get older, they are well able to iron. They are well able to cook dinner, make their own lunches, whatever it might be. Wash their own water bottles after sports. They are well able to do it because at 13, there was people years ago who were leaving school and going out to work or running houses and stuff like that. So it's absolutely essential that we start to teach our kids about what life is like, that they don't just get everything clean for them, wash for them, cook for them, that they are well able to do things for themselves. And that way, the stress is taken off us, and we don't have a 35-year-old bringing home laundry for mum to make and looking for the week's worth of dinners in the freezer. So let's start to empower our kids, because it's funny, more and more people I talk to give out about millennials. They can do nothing. They're snowflakes. They've no resilience. Why? Is it their fault? Is it their fault? Absolutely not. If they can't deal with the little things in life, it's because they were never made to. They were never shown how to. They're never, made to go and work. They were never made to go and volunteer. They're never made to look after themselves. That's why they can't do it. That's on us as parents. We need to be the ones to make them capable of going out into the world and dealing with setbacks. And, let's be honest, today is World Mental Health Day. So if we're worried about our kids' mental health, or we want them to have good mental health, part of that is building the resilience in them so that they can actually go and do things. They can actually deal with the setbacks and not completely crumble. I was speaking to someone in a school recently who said they were talking to a couple of universities who were saying, like, the amount of students coming into first year in university, and they're fine with the academic side of things, they just can't cope with the responsibility of looking after themselves. Like, they're really, really struggling. So, parents, I'm the parent of this 13-year-old child. It is time to kick some ass in the metaphorical sense. Get your kids doing things that they should be doing for themselves. Okay, pick one thing for the next 2-3 weeks. It'll become a habit, they'll get used to it, and it's a stress off you most of the time. Then pick something else that they can do for themselves. Do that, it's a stress off you, they're able to do it themselves. And then you can leave them to it. Let's stop sugarcoating things for our kids. Let's stop trying to wrap them up in bubble wrap and not let them experience disappointment or going to school without a lunch when they haven't made their own lunch. The responsibility is on them, and it's amazing how quickly your child is not going to starve if they forget their lunch. They'll be very bloody hungry, but that's just tough because they will not forget their lunch the next day. Let's stop making things so easy for our kids, because it's not doing them any favours, because they can't deal with things then. Simple things. They have meltdowns over no lunch. They literally have meltdowns. Ringing up, where's my lunch? It's here. You can have it when you get home. That's just life. Because when they go out into the big bad world, people are not going to be there all the time to just pick up and pack their lunch bag. And if they find someone like that, that's not going to last long. Maybe it will, actually. Maybe it will. But it's not doing them any favours. So let's start to build our kids' resilience by allowing them to actually do things for themselves that they're well capable of doing. Right. I enjoyed those kids' questions. Thank you very much to the kids who sent them in, to the parents. Keep those kids' questions coming in. We'll definitely do another one very soon. Maybe sooner than I think. Should be back next week. Have a wonderful week, and take care of yourselves. And World Mental Health Day. Look after your mental health. That means taking care of the little stresses, because we always deal with the big things that happen. We deal with that. It's the little consistent everyday annoyances that actually damage our mental health. So take care of those. Look into what can you do to lessen those stresses. And some of that stuff is about getting your kids to do things for themselves. But take care of yourself. If you need to speak to somebody, go and get professional help. Go and get professional help if you need it, if you really need it. There is people out there. Send me an email. I'll happily reply to you. Don't you worry about it. I'll get back to you. So if you've got something going on that you need some help and support with, get in touch with somebody who can give you help. Okay, guys, have a wonderful week, and I'll speak to you next week. Take care.